In the history of the NBA, there have been a total of 196 teams that had a 2-0 lead in the first round of the playoffs. Of those 196 teams, 183 of them went on to advance. That's a staggering 93.4% chance of winning the series once a team takes the first two games. Sheesh, guys. Those are the type of odds where one would, without hesitation, push all their chips forward and say, I'm all in. Well, after the Warriors found themselves down 0-2 and in a situation they've never experienced before, the NBA world counted them out. I mean, I could turn all the non-believers and haters' comments into a complete novel at this point and self-publish it on Amazon. But that's too much work, so instead, I'll just say, I told you so. Anyway, the Sacramento Kings lit up a beam after their Game 1 victory. Then after their Game 2 victory, the same thing happened. They lit another beam. Well, look who lit the beam in Game 7. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sacramento Kings were not ready for the 2023 playoff Warriors, and neither is the NBA. So, Kevin Durant once again finds himself in second place. I mean, he was drafted second overall back in 2007. Then for the longest time, he was the second best player in the league behind LeBron James. Then, now, he has the second most points scored in a Game 7 behind Steph Curry. Yeah, that's right, guys. Steph's 50-point Game 7 masterpiece performance against the Sacramento Kings is now the highest scoring output by any one individual in league history. 13 from 20 from the field was the main entree, 3 for 5 from the free throw line was the appies, and 7 for 18 from beyond the arc was the bottle of wine. The chef served up a dinner that we'll all remember for years and years to come, and if there was one play by him which sticks out, it's gotta be this one. So here's Curry on the perimeter. He has Trey Lyles guarding him, a 6'9" lottery pick from back in 2015. First, Curry dances with him a bit. Lyles obviously doesn't have the ability to keep up with the chef's dance moves and eventually jumps into the air out of desperation. At that point, Curry immediately speeds right by him, and when the secondary defender comes in, he Euro steps right by him for the sweet layup. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no stopping Steph when he's locked in. And in this particular game, just like Game 4 of the 2022 NBA Finals, Steph was completely locked in from start to finish. I mean, whether it was the inside game, the mid-range game, or the outside game, Steph was having an all-you-can-eat buffet all by himself, and almost outscored the entire Kings starting five single-handedly. There was nothing nobody in a Kings uniform could do to slow him down, and everyone knew it. If you ever wondered why one of Curry's nicknames is the Human Flamethrower, this is why. And speaking of nicknames, Kavan Looney deserves one at this point. And if you asked me, it should be the Black Hole, because this man just gobbled up another 10 offensive rebounds, 11 defensive rebounds for a total of 21 boards. And just like how Steph did with points, Looney almost single-handedly out-rebounded the entire Kings starting five. It was an absolute masterclass on rebounding, guys. You know, a lot of people think Jeremy Sohan of the San Antonio Spurs is the next Dennis Rodman, but actually, it's probably Looney because, well, just look at this play here. Wiggins here misses the three, but luckily Kavan tracks down the rebound and passes it back out. Eventually, it swings back to Wiggins, who unfortunately misses again. But look who's there to clean up the glass and get the bucket. Sheesh, guys. This guy is 6'9", 4 inches shorter than Domantas Sabonis. But yet, to Sabonis at least, Kavan probably looked 8 feet tall in this series. I mean, anytime the ball touches the rim on either side, Kavan got the rebound. Sabonis was clearly outmatched on the board, so it's no wonder why he had to resort to jiu-jitsu moves like grabbing other men's ankles. Anyway, as for every other Warrior on the floor like Clay, Wiggins, Draymond, GP2, although they didn't have a stat sheet-worthy game, look at what they did defensively. So, Sacramento had the best offense the NBA has seen in 40 years, but yet, in their most important game of the season, at home, the Golden State Warriors held them to just 42 points in the second half. They literally got locked up and sent to prison at home. And just to remind you, earlier in the regular season, this same Sacramento team dropped 176 points to beat a fully healthy Clippers team. And yet, the 2023 playoff Warriors held them to just 42 points in the second half of their most important game of the season. Then, to top things off, they only had 7 turnovers the entire game. And this is exactly why the NBA isn't ready for the 2023 playoff Warriors. I mean, all season, they played bad defense. They kept turning the ball over and couldn't win on the road even if their life depended on it. But yet, in a game that had their season on the line, they flipped the switch and turned into the champs we saw last year. I'm not surprised at all, though. Like I said all season, all the Warriors needed to do was to get healthy, get whole, then get mentally challenged. Then, as we all just witnessed, the results were spectacular. They played phenomenal defense, they barely had any turnovers, and not only did they win on the road, but they blew their opponents out of the water. They looked nothing like a regular 6th seed. It's unfortunate for the Kings that they paired up with the defending champs, because had they played the Lakers or maybe the Timberwolves, they would have likely advanced to the second round. And speaking of the Lakers, they're up next. And do y'all know what's funny about this series? This is probably the first time in NBA history that a 6th seed is going to have home court advantage. Yeah, that's right. A 6th seed is going to have home court advantage. You know, after watching the NBA religiously for nearly 2 decades and after studying my fair share of NBA history, I can't recall a single time that a 6th and 7th seed matched up in the second round. 2023 really is something, guys. But in any case, the Los Angeles Lakers. It's another showdown between the chef and the king. Oh my goodness, guys. You know what I just realized? After dropping a 50-piece against the Sacramento Kings and sending them home, Steph Curry now has to send another king home. Well, luckily for the Warriors, this series is going to be easier than Sacramento. I mean, the Lakers are a bigger and slower team overall, so Steph Curry is going to get all the mismatches he needs when he's on the perimeter. And on that same note, Jordan Poole is finally going to be useful. Because just like Steph, he's going to be better able to use his speed to get around the bigger Lakers, so rain or shine, I predict a pool party showing up. On the defensive end for the Warriors, Anthony Davis is going to wreak havoc and be a beast. But I don't believe anything can physically escape a black hole. I mean, not only is Kavan Looney going to suck the lights out of AD, but he's going to suck the hope out of him as well. Then when it comes to LeBron James, I heard Andrew Wiggins already booked him a one-way ticket to Wiggins Island. And FYI, no one ever leaves Wiggins Island with a smile on their face. I know there's a lot more to these newly vamped Lakers like Austin Powers, D'Lo, Hachimura, Dennis the Menace, and the rest of their crew, but ultimately this series is going to come down to its stars. The Warriors have enough to slow down AD and LeBron, but the Lakers have no one capable of slowing down Steph. I mean, if Steph could get 50 on an elite defender like Davion Mitchell, what chances do the Lakers guards have? Anyway, on the opposite end of that spectrum, a switch onto LeBron, a switch onto Hachimura, a switch onto Reeves, and Steph is going to be able to cook whatever dishes he wants. This series is going to end in either 5 or 6 games with the Warriors advancing. 5 if they lock in, and 6 if they decide they want to turn the ball over 20 times again. But either way, they're going back to the Western Conference Finals. You know, a lot of people see either the Nuggets or the Suns coming out of the West, but that's only because they haven't seen enough of the playoff Warriors yet. After going to the brink of elimination, the Warriors have fully awakened, and it's going to be more apparent in the Lakers series that they're still light years ahead of the NBA. Whether it's the Nuggets or the Suns, Golden State is going to come out on top, and from there, it's the 2023 NBA Finals. And hey, would you look at the East? It appears that the basketball gods are setting up another showdown between the Heat and the Celtics. If these teams meet in the conference finals again, it's going to be another slugfest with the Celtics probably just barely edging them out again. And just like that, it's going to be another epic showdown between the ones wearing green and the defending champions. Then at that point, we're going to get the answer to the question we've all been waiting for, and that's, can the Celtics drive left now.